every celebrity who has become Muslim. Giancarlos Esposito. Giancarlo Esposito embraced Islam in June 2026 after being deeply moved by the spiritual devotion of the local community while filming the movie Seven Dogs in Morocco. Working closely with Muslim crew members, the Breaking Bad star was inspired by their reverence and connection to faith, leading him to formally recite the Shahada, the Islamic declaration of faith, and join his colleagues in prayer at a local mosque. Reflecting on his conversion, Esposito shared,
"Well, it deepens me to come to a country where people have devotion. For me, devotion is everything. To be devoted and understand that there is one God, one Allah. You know, in your country, Muhammad is everything. For me, it's the same. I feel the same way in a country that has a devotion to goodness, grace, and God energy. So it's changed my life. For me to understand how a different culture worships and lives and makes film is very important to uplift me as a human being."
On another note, Los Palos now serves halal. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali converted to Islam through a gradual spiritual journey that began in the early 1960s as a rejection of American racial segregation and evolved into a deeply personal embrace of global Orthodox faith. Inspired by a message of black empowerment and mentored closely by Malcolm X, Ali secretly attended Nation of Islam meetings before publicly announcing his membership and changing his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. While he initially adhered to the Nation of Islam's racially exclusive theology, Ali transitioned fully to mainstream Sunni Islam in 1975 under the guidance of Wallace D. Muhammad, abandoning racial separatism for a universal message of human equality. In his later years, he battled Parkinson's disease and stayed loyal to his faith until the day he died. Cat Stevens. Cat Stevens' conversion to Islam was triggered by a profound near-death experience in 1976, followed by his introduction to the Quran. While swimming off the coast of Malibu, California, the folk pop superstar was swept out into the Pacific Ocean by strong currents. Realizing he was powerless against the sea, he prayed out to God, promising to dedicate his entire life to his service if he were saved. Immediately afterward, a gentle wave pushed him safely back to shore. Following this brush with death, his brother David gave him a copy of the Quran as a birthday gift after visiting Jerusalem. Reading the text deeply resonated with the singer's long-held spiritual search, answering his questions about the purpose of life, and leading him to formally embrace the faith on December 23, 1977, changing his name to Yusuf Islam. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's conversion to Islam was a deeply personal transformation, rooted in his identity as an African American and his search for spiritual truth. Born Ferdinand Lewis Alcindor Jr., the basketball legend began his transition while studying at UCLA in the late 1960s, where he grew disillusioned with Christianity, viewing it as a religion linked closely to the historical oppression and enslavement of black people. Seeking a more universal and authentic spiritual path, he began studying the Quran under a Muslim teacher named Hamaz Abdul Khalis, which led him to formally convert to Sunni Islam in 1968. He officially adopted the name Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, meaning noble, powerful servant of Allah, in 1971, just after winning his first NBA championship, utilizing his new faith and public platform as an enduring statement of personal freedom, cultural pride, and devotion to God. Jermaine Jackson. Jermaine Jackson's conversion to Islam was sparked by a casual but deeply impactful conversation with children during a tour of the Middle East. Raised as a Jehovah's Witness alongside his famous siblings in the Jackson family, the former Jackson 5 vocalist traveled to Bahrain in 1989, where he interacted with a group of local youths. When the children eagerly and proudly shared the details of their faith, Jackson was profoundly struck by their confidence, sense of identity, and inner peace. This innocent encounter prompted him to seek out Islamic scholars, study the Quran, and explore its concepts of pure monotheism and direct accountability to God. Officially embracing the religion later that year, he adopted the name Muhammad Abdulaziz Sharif, frequently crediting his faith for providing the mental clarity and grounding required to navigate the overwhelming pressures of lifelong global fame. Even his son, who plays Michael in the recent film, is a Muslim. Imhalal, Imhalal, Imhalal. Don't you know Imhalal? Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's conversion to Islam began as a 17-year-old teenager living in Washington, D.C., where his interest in the faith was sparked by routine visits to a local pizza shop directly across the street from his house. While he initially frequented the shop simply to hang out and crack jokes, His natural curiosity led him to start questioning the Muslim staff and owner about their religious beliefs, deeply moved by the owner's intense passion, spiritual perspective, and devotion.
You're a Muslim?
I am.
When did you become Muslim?
When I was 17.
What were the circumstances?
I don't know, it was like believing in God and stuff. I'm not like, you know what I mean? I should preface this by saying it's not like I'm good at it. When I was 17, I was living in Washington, and there was a pizza shop across from my house. And it was like all these Muslim dudes that worked in there. And I used to go in there and crack jokes. And I was a naturally curious guy, and I would ask him questions about his religion. And the guy was so passionate about it, it was very compelling. I like the perspective of it, and I think these things informed my decision that I wanted to have a meaningful life, a spiritual life.
I'm reading about you being Muslim, and they referenced something that I was fascinated by, the well of Zamzam.
There's a well called Zamzam. It's in Saudi Arabia.
And the myth goes that a family walking through this desert dying of thirst, and this endless well presents itself. You and I could go see it.
Right, so I could go see it. You'd probably have to make some phone calls.
Have you been there?
I have.
It's only welcome to Muslims. It's not a tourist location.
No, nor should it be. The man is the Prophet Abraham and his wife. The word Zamzam, that you guys speak Arabic, literally means stop, stop, because when it was commanded that this well would appear, the water gushed forth so much that the wife screamed, stop, stop, because it was so overwhelming. They say that it's an inexhaustible well. Mm-hmm. The thing that comforts me about it is the idea that all of this is from a singular source, that this source is ultimately kind, and even though we may not understand the intentions of this source, they were all connected and bounded by it. You know, like Islam, as it's been presented in the public space, is such a narrow and dismissive view of a religious belief. It's a beautiful religion.
Keep it halal. Enough likes, I will box Mike Tyson. In Jana.